Hello everyone, I'm Nitsa and it's Wednesday, so that means it's time for another Crack-A-Pack in the latest format. And right now, that still means Hour of Devastation. These Crack-A-Packs are brought to you by the Ether Hub, which is not only a YouTube channel that you should check out where I submit some content, but also a gaming store, and you can actually buy Magic the Gathering cards there. So go check it out at etherhubtcg.com. We're going to crack this pack and talk about it in the limited context, as always. All right, well, our first common is Mummy Paramount. This is a good card for the Mummy deck, the zombie deck. I mean, mummies, zombies, whatever. It's a 2-mana 2/2, and it gets pump +1/+1 anytime a zombie comes into play. It's a fine card, not really one you want to be first picking. A pack would have to be pretty bad for Mummy Paramount to be what you want to take first, but it is a good card. Frontline Devastator, sort of in the same camp. It's a fine card in red decks, most of any variety. It's good in aggro decks, especially, but it's also good in control decks. It can be, just because, you know, it gives you a decent creature who can pump its power, and it's nothing special. And I think it's worse than Mummy Paramount, but they're close in power level. I don't really want to be first picking either of them, but I would take the Mummy. Next, we have Tragic Lesson. I don't really like this card unless I'm the spells deck, and then it's worth it, of course. So that means blue-red. You definitely don't want to first pick it. If you're in the spells deck, it's nice. Other decks, it's not the greatest source of card advantage. Next is Bitterbow Sharpshooters, and I think this is our new first pick. This card has really overperformed and proven to be quite strong. 5 mana, 4/4 Vigilance Reach is good. I think it's the best common so far in this pack and what we would take. We also have a Wretched Camel. This is a card I like a lot. Not as much as Bitterbow Sharpshooters, though. It's a zombie, has a useful creature type, and it also has a nice desert payoff in that it makes your opponent discard something. Basically, it can be a 2-for-1 in the early game. Next, we have Harrier Naga, another creature who's, you know, fine, and you'll play it in a lot of decks, but it's nothing special. 3 mana, 3/3. Bitterbow Sharpshooter's still what I would take. All right, now we have Desert of the True, and I think I would take this common cycling land ahead of all the cards in this pack. The cycling lands are very good. They're good because they're deserts. They're good because they keep you from flooding. And they're good because sometimes you have cycling payoffs. All of those together make me want to play Desert of the True over any of the cards we've looked at so far. Next, we have Striped Riverwinder. It's a nice finisher in ramp decks, in control decks as well, but you don't want to be first picking it. Graven Abomination is indeed an abomination. Basically unplayable. Even as far as a sideboard card goes, it's pretty bad. There's way better ways to exile things from your opponent's graveyard than Graven Abomination. Okay, well, we have a new first pick, I think, and that is Steward of Solidarity. This thing's really good. It's a 2 mana 2/2 in the early game, and in the late game, it starts giving you, well, you can sort of think of it as half a creature token every turn, 1 creature token every other turn, and it can eventually just help you win the game, help you stall, help you do a lot of things. It's good if you're behind, it's good if you're ahead, and it's good if you're at parity, so it's a nice card, and I will take Steward of Solidarity here. Next, we have Sinuous Striker. This card's fine. I think it's worse than Desert of the True and Steward of Solidarity. I would take either of them first. But Sinuous Striker is a fine blue card. Eternalize is pretty nice. It can be hit pretty hard when it needs to. But I don't think it's better than Steward of Solidarity or Desert of the True. Okay, another uncommon is Vizier of the Anointed. I like this card a lot. I like how it can set up really sweet interactions with Embalm and Eternalize. I like that you get to, basically, by putting a card with Eternalize in your graveyard or Embalm, you're basically already drawing a card with this, Vizier of the Anointed, because you're adding a card to your hand, you can think of it. Generally, it's not a very efficient card, but it's a card. On top of that, it draws you cards every time you Internalize or Embalm, and I do advocate taking this card with the first pick frequently. However, in a pack with Steward of Solidarity, I don't want to do it. Steward of Solidarity is good in any deck. Vizier of the Anointed really needs you to have 3 to 4 cards with Embalm or Eternalize to be at its best. And I think it's a second best card in this pack, but we're not going to take it. And we have a bomb rare, so all of that doesn't matter. Our bomb rare is Grind to Dust. It's incredibly powerful. You do need to be able to cast both halves for it to be a bomb, because for 6 mana, you basically get to exile 2 creatures with 1 card. That's a 2-for-1. You can even do it to gods that are indestructible or whatever. And the card is actually helped as well by the fact that even if you don't end up playing black-white, which hopefully you'll try to at least splash white if you're playing Grind to Dust, even if you're just playing black, the grind half is okay. It's not a great card, but it's playable. You won't cut it from your deck. And so it has a reasonable floor. I mean, it's not going to be awesome if you can't cast the dust half. You're going to be pretty disappointed. But what I'm saying is you should first pick it with the hopes that you're going to play black-white. And even if you don't, even if you only play black, it's still a playable card. So it's not the end of the world. We do have a foil common, and it's a pretty good one. It's Ronus's Stalwart. I would put this behind Grind to Dust and Steward of Solidarity, but I would put it above Desert of the True. It's a very good 2-drop, one of the best ones in the format, good in aggressive decks especially. But we are going to take Grind to Dust here. It is just a very, very good card. It's a 2-for-1 removal spell frequently, and in the worst case scenario, it's a decent playable. In the comments, let me know what you would have first picked, and remember, you can enter into a drawing to win all of these cards from the month of August by saying you want to be entered into it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out etherhubtcg.com.